Back here on the Cougar Coaches Show, Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo, along with number 42, Hal Payne. You're not as tall when you're sitting down. That works out. That works out all right. Welcome to the Coaches Show and your second year, junior at Columbia College. Second year here for Bob Burchard's Cougar basketball team. First time I saw you in the gym the previous season. I remember doing some soccer stuff, and you had the double boots going. You were practicing the dribbles, and that was a rough start to your time here as a Cougar, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was. I had pretty severe bone separations in both of my feet, and how I managed to get it in both of them is still a mystery to me. But I pulled it off, though, and I was in both boots for about 2 weeks, and I managed to get out of the left one. I stayed in the right one for another couple weeks after that, but definitely learned how to handle the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
Sitting down.
And so then obviously you worked through some of that, and tell us a little bit about this year compared to last season, both on and off the court, as far as fitting in as a Cougar on the at Columbia College.
Well, for me personally, both years have brought their own challenges. However, the years themselves have been quite a bit different. My approach has been largely the same. I try to contribute as best I can in every opportunity I get, and in whatever role that might be in. And luckily, our records this year and last are somewhat similar. But off the court, I'm doing all right. I'm enjoying school, and I've got a great life here in Columbia. And on the court, we're 18-5 right now. We just got up to number 18 in the country, so keeping our fingers crossed. We're going to try to keep going in the right direction.
Fingers crossed on there, and you get yourself out there, as we noted in the trivia question, that Matt Woodcock's father was the one who got to answer in the crowd the other day. I know they headed back to Australia, but the tallest member of the Columbia Cougar basketball team at what, 6'9"?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Is that with or without the boot? Did you go up a little? Did you go up a little with the boot on?
I
or no?
never measured with the boot on.
Okay.
I figured if I can't play it, there's no sense measuring.
Exactly. But yourself, you get out on the court with your presence, and you add Jordan Dressler as well, and just the overall size that this team this year it's physically true how much bigger you guys are, but it just it even seems much bigger than you really are, truly.
Yeah, luckily we've been able to give quite a few teams a bit of a size headache on the interior this year between Jordan, who's 6'8", and myself 6'9", like you said. Very few teams that we've played to this point have two guys that are that tall, and furthermore, not very many teams have two guys that routinely play that physical and get out and run the floor and so on and so forth. Plenty of teams have one guy that'll do that, but covering both of us, I think, has been a challenge for some people. And when the tournament comes along, hopefully, if we are fortunate to get back there again, we're going to see plenty of teams that have our size and then some. So
yeah, that's the separation. When you obviously, it's one thing to have it in conference play and make that battle, but as you mentioned, taking that next step beyond the conference and into further play later on the court. Take us back into the classroom a little bit. Criminal justice major, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
What's been your favorite part so far of that?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I've got one professor in particular. His name's Michael Himmel, who last year I had a class with him, shooting incidents in criminal justice, and that's all reconstruction of shooting incidents. You take a homicide scene or a scene where nobody even got killed, but there's bullet holes, and a good forensic scientist or crime scene tech or a run-of-the-mill police officer can go back and reconstruct the scene, determine hopefully what sort of weapon was used to make the bullet holes, and it's a lot of forensic evidence pieces to that puzzle, and it was a very, very interesting time. I enjoy all my criminal justice classes, but that one in particular.
Do you take the criminal justice mind as a detective almost and watch game film that way and kind of break down defenses and who your assignment is for the next ball game?
Well, I've got my own way of scouting people that is a little different from my approach in the classroom, but definitely try to give people the best look I can. And one thing about being a criminal justice major is attention to detail for people in my position is usually a little bit higher than for other majors, and it just is a trait of the job, I suppose. And I'm a little bit more prone to noticing small things about what my opponent might do that perhaps even my opponent themselves might not catch themselves doing, and I try to see things in their game and manipulate it as best as I can.
Watching for fingerprints. Watch for him. Big number 42, Hal Payne of the Columbia College Cougars. When we come back, we'll bring Bob Burchard back on along with Hal, and we'll wrap up this edition of the Cougar Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22.